up pretty bad, Jay.
Well, it's kind of hard to dodge a fucking washing machine.
Everything has been building to this. Blood has been spilled. Secrets have come to light. Now there's no turning back. In the world of MobLand, peace is a lie, and survival comes at a price. The streets are quiet. But that silence? It's the kind that comes right before everything explodes. Last episode, everything fell apart, fast. Harry, once just the quiet fixer in the shadows, finally made his move. But it wasn't clean. It wasn't smart. It was desperate. Now, the price of that decision is about to be paid in full. The Stevensons are out for blood. After Harry's ambush on their warehouse, the balance of power in the city shifted. Harry thought he was hitting them where it hurt, but he didn't expect what came next. Retaliation, brutal and personal. Within hours, the streets lit up. Safe houses burned. One of Harrigan's top men ended up in a body bag. And as always, no one talks, no one sees anything. But everyone knows who's pulling the strings. At the heart of it all is Amber. Her betrayal in episode 9 hit like a gunshot. She was never just the girl at Harry's side. She was the connection between the two families. And when she chose survival over loyalty, she shattered Harry's last bit of trust. We saw it in his face. That moment in the alleyway when he found out the truth? It wasn't just heartbreak. It was something darker. Like a part of him died, and something colder took its place. And Harrigan, the old lion, wounded but not dead. He's seen wars like this before, but never with his empire this weak. His warning to Harry was clear. You started something, boy. Finish it before it finishes us. The tension in that scene was heavy. No shouting, just quiet fury. That's how you know things are serious. Harrigan knows this isn't just about gangs anymore. It's about family lines, buried secrets, and power that doesn't care who gets crushed along the way. Now as the city holds its breath, every move counts. Trust has become a weapon. And betrayal? That's just another tool in the game. With the finale ahead, one question hangs over everyone. Who's still standing when the dust settles? This is it. The endgame. Episode 10. The Beast in Me. Isn't just the season finale. It's the breaking point. Everything that's been boiling under the surface is about to blow, and no one walks away clean. Harry's on edge. He's not thinking like a fixer anymore. He's moving like a man with nothing left to lose. The way he looks in those early frames, bruised, alone, pacing the underground tunnel. It's like he's already halfway gone. He's hunting now. For revenge. For answers. Maybe even for a way out. Though deep down, we know there's no escape for someone like him. Meanwhile, Harrigan is fighting a war on two fronts. Enemies outside and a traitor inside. The walls of his empire are crumbling. His closest ally has turned ghost. His daughter won't return his calls. And there's one moment in the trailer, just a flash, where he's sitting in the back of a church, alone, staring at a coffin. We don't know whose funeral it is yet, but we can guess. And if it's who we think it is, things are about to get even uglier. Then there's Amber. She's not the same woman we met in episode 1. She's caught in the middle, shaken but armed, literally. There's a quick shot of her holding a gun with trembling hands, standing in someone's apartment. Her face is pale, her eyes are red, and you just know she's about to make a choice that changes everything. The voiceover in that moment says it all. Some things once broken can never be fixed. There's also a hint of something bigger, something darker. A new player, perhaps? A man's silhouette in a warehouse, making a call, watching the chaos unfold from the sidelines. The voice is unfamiliar, cold, strategic. Could this be the man pulling the strings from the shadows all season? If so, we're not just talking about gang wars anymore. We're talking about a puppet master who's been letting everyone else take the fall. As the tension builds, the trailer shows flashes of the final showdown. Guns drawn, cars speeding through rain-slicked streets, and a warehouse going up in flames. Harry's voice cuts through the noise. You want the truth? Fine. But you'd better be ready to bleed for it. This finale promises more than just answers. It promises reckoning. This is the episode where masks fall off and true faces are revealed. No more lies, no more pretending. Every major player has something to lose and something to prove. MobLand has always been a show about power, but now it's about identity. Who are these people when the power slips from their hands? Let's start with Harry. The man we met in episode 1 was a ghost, always watching, always calculating, never letting emotion show. But by episode 10, something inside him has snapped. The Harry in this trailer isn't hiding anymore. There's this moment. No music, no dialogue. Just him standing in front of a mirror, shirt soaked in blood, eyes blank. The look says everything. This is a man who's lost the people who mattered, the life he thought he could hold on to, and maybe even himself. This episode isn't just about what Harry does. It's about what he becomes. Then there's Harrigan, the old king. He's tired, but don't mistake that for weakness. His scenes in the trailer are sharp and heavy. One shows him slamming a glass on the floor, yelling at someone off screen. Another shows him whispering something to a little boy, maybe a son, maybe a pawn. But there's one line that hits hard. The throne is built on bones, and mine are the first. That's Harrigan in a nutshell. A man who made his peace with being a monster long ago. Now Amber. Her arc is the most tragic. She loved Harry. Or maybe she just needed him. Either way, her betrayal wasn't clean. You see it on her face. In the trailer, she's caught between survival and guilt. One shot has her digging something out of the ground in the middle of nowhere. Maybe cash. Maybe a body. Another shows her running through a crowd, looking back like someone's chasing her. Then there's the gut punch moment, her whispering, "Tell Harry, I didn't mean to choose." That line tells you everything. She didn't want to betray him. But in MobLand, what you want doesn't matter. The Stevensons are looming large too. Ruthless, relentless. They barely show their faces in the trailer. Just gloved hands, shadowy meetings, and a sniper preparing for something big. That's how you know they're close. Too close. And finally, the mystery figure. A hooded man, always watching. His hands clean. His voice calm. He's the kind of villain who lets others do the dirty work. In one final frame, he says, "You thought this was about families. It's always been about control." Whoever he is, he's not in this for blood. He's in it for power. And Harry? He's standing in the way. In this finale, no one is safe. Not every story ends with a hero. And some beasts don't hide under beds. They wear suits, they drive black cars, and they make deals in the dark. The final seconds of the trailer don't give us answers. They raise the stakes. Everything slows down. The screen cuts to black. Then we hear a single deep breath. Harry's voice, cold and steady, whispers, "You wanted to see the real me? Look closer." And just like that, the title drops. Big bold letters flicker onto the screen, rising from shadows and smoke. MobLand. Episode 10, The Beast in Me. A slow pulse of deep, eerie music kicks in, heartbeat-like. Then the words fade, replaced by one sentence, blood red against a black screen, streaming June 1st. Only on Paramount Plus, the trailer isn't done yet. It gives us one last jolt. A stinger. A gun is cocked. We hear footsteps echo through an empty warehouse. A door creaks open. We see Harry from behind, walking slowly towards something or someone. The lighting is low. Everything feels cold and metallic. You can almost hear your own breath just watching it. And then, bang, a gunshot. The screen cuts to black before we see who fired or who's still standing. No music. Just silence. And then, a whisper. Not Harry's voice. A new one. "You don't know me yet, but you will." That's it. Fade out. No clues. No faces. Just a promise. That the season finale will not just end the story. It will change everything. When everything goes wrong in MobLand, you don't run. You vanish. You bury the past. And you find a new way to win. Even if it means burning everything that's left. The screen fades in from black. We see a quiet warehouse in the early morning, fog swirling around broken windows. Crows flap in the distance. The camera glides over a blood trail on the concrete floor. stopping at a duffel bag, ripped open. Inside, torn stacks of bills, stained red to a flickering security camera feed. Grainy footage shows shadows moving quickly, then gunfire. One crew member falls. Another vanishes behind a wall. Static. We shift to a dimly lit room. A hand slams a burner phone down. Another hand, shaking, lights a cigarette. They sit in silence. No faces. Just tension. On the table, a photo of their missing teammate, crossed out in red ink. Rico's gone. Maybe dead. Maybe worse. No sign of the money. The boss thinks we stole it. The cops think we're dead. And the real traitor? He's still breathing. Somewhere. The crew's hideout is no longer safe. They strip it bare, wiping prints, burning documents. One crew member hesitates in front of a photo on the wall. 3 friends, smiling. He tears it down, burns it too. The camera lingers on smoke rising. You can plan a job down to the second, but one bad call, one whisper in the wrong ear, and everything you built turns to ash. The final image in this section, a sewer tunnel entrance. One figure, hooded, silent, steps in, vanishing into darkness. The screen fades in from black to a cramped, dim room filled with cigarette smoke and flickering neon light seeping through the blinds. The atmosphere is heavy, the kind of silence that screams louder than words. Around a rough wooden table, only hands and arms are visible, slamming down a crumpled map covered with red strings and pins. When you lose the game, you don't fold. You study the board, every move, every mistake, and you find the weak spot, the crack in the armor. The camera pans over close-ups of Polaroids scattered across the table. Faces blurred, names scratched out. One hand traces a path connecting 3 points. The boss, the informant, and the driver. The air vibrates with tension. A burner phone suddenly rings, piercing the silence like a gunshot. A hand reaches out quickly, answering. The voice on the other end is muffled. The figure holding the phone listens intently, their knuckles white, the tension visible in their trembling grip. No time for trust. Not after what happened. Someone fed the cops, someone sold us out. But who and why? In the corner, a shadow moves, a figure pacing, restless. The others exchange glances. They know the walls are closing in. The heat from the police, from the rival mobs, and from their own people burning bridges. The phone call ends. The crew rises silently, moving to gather gear. Dark jackets, gloves, keys, and a small metal box filled with burner phones. The plan is changing. No longer about the money, but survival. Plan B isn't about stealing back what's lost. It's about sending a message, about turning fear into power. But that message comes with a price. A betrayal that cuts deeper than any bullet. The camera cuts to a close-up of a hand crushing a matchstick. The flame dies in slow motion. Outside, a car passes under a street lamp. The hooded figure from before watches, eyes hidden beneath the shadow. The scene fades as the sound of heavy rain begins, cold, relentless. The screen flickers to life with close-ups of cold steel. Wire cutters. A lighter. A slim black case, snapping shut. The air is thick with tension. Shadows move silently in an underground garage where 2 motorbikes sit like beasts ready to roar. Helmets are placed side by side on a workbench. Plan B isn't about running. It's about turning. The game upside down. When the world thinks you're broken, that's when you hit hardest. Hands pull on leather gloves. A hand flips open a file. Inside, blackmail photos, names, numbers. The crew moves with purpose, preparing to destroy evidence and plant lies. Their target, the rival mob who's been tightening the noose around them, cut to dark alleyways, where silhouetted figures slip past dim street lamps. The team breaks into a heavily guarded safe house, but the camera never shows faces, just hands moving swiftly, tools clicking, documents being torn and tossed into a roaring fire. We don't just steal back what's ours, we rewrite the story, make them look like the villains they've always been. Tension crackles between 2 crew members. Fingers twitch near concealed weapons. A whispered argument. One pulls away, slamming a fist down, while the other watches coldly, unblinking. Trust is gone. Loyalty is a weapon now. The mission escalates. A quick getaway on roaring bikes through rain-slicked streets. The camera stays low, catching only the spray of water, the flash of headlights, and the glint of metal. The sound of thunder joins, the rush of engines. Back at the hideout, the phone rings again. This time, the call is answered in silence. A shadowed figure presses a finger to their lips, listening. The final line of the voiceover cuts sharp. Plan B worked, but not for everyone. Plan B worked. The enemy is trapped in a web of lies. The cops chase shadows. But one thing is clear. Rico isn't dead. He's alive, watching, waiting, playing a game no one else knows.